to go and enjoy them in person and stuff. Great thing, right? It was a super great thing. So, the next topic that we are going to be talking about is after the decision for APS to return to sports, students statewide want a similar request. So we will see kind of like what they're going what they're talking about there. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this one as well.
The fight to get student athletes back in school and back on the field and court continues in New Mexico. While the PED is letting Albuquerque high schoolers play, there are still many districts out there not allowed, and some wonder why. News 13's Rachel Knapp talked to those affected.
The Lordsburg students I spoke with have been athletes since they were little, and they're desperate to be back in class and back in sports.
Not being able to play and just strictly doing school and not having really a motive is really hard.
We just want to play. We want to be able to play sports. We want to be able to go to school, at least get some portion of our senior year back. And I mean, we don't want to continue like this. We want change.
I could only imagine like the heartache that, oh man, any of the students be going through.
We want something different that's going to be better for us and for everyone else.
The students say in Lordsburg their lives revolve around sports, and they feel it's been ripped away from them this past year because they've been doing remote learning. Now, the PED tied the return to sports with the hybrid learning models. If schools opted out of hybrid learning, they aren't able to let their students play sports. But yesterday, the state agreed for high schoolers at APS to play sports as long as they do in-person small group learning. Lordsburg schools have been doing small group in-person learning since last month. The superintendent says they were under the impression that would not suffice for participation in athletics. They're now looking at their options, which would be a relief to students who say that this has hit them all hard.
I know friends who, last year went from doing okay, doing sports, and having good grades from going to therapy and being on antidepressants because they just can't take it anymore. And I feel like that's a huge problem that the school board definitely didn't want to address, was how bad it's affecting people personally and their mental health.
As of Monday, the majority of school districts are listed in the hybrid learning model. About 20 districts are still listed as remote learning, and we'll post a link online to show that full list.
See, then we start getting into the hypocrisy of things, right? Things that just don't make no sense, right? And maybe some of y'all could probably argue that it makes sense. I don't really know, but to me it don't make sense. How could these schools that are doing hybrid learning be able to get sports kind of back, but these other schools that have hybrid learning that have been doing it can't get sports back? See, it just don't make no sense, right? How could this group of seniors be having a normal life, right? But these other seniors can't have a normal life. It don't make sense. Like, it just doesn't. I don't understand it. Like, maybe my mind just can't wrap around the whole concept of that, and maybe there's like a deeper issue to it. Maybe there's a more complex issue to it. I don't know. Maybe I just need to open my mind a little bit more. I don't really understand it, but yeah, I mean, with any of this, it's crazy, right? It's just crazy because, like the dude said, he knows people that went from doing good, being in sports, right, to now going to therapy, being on antidepressants. Why? Because this has affected everyone mentally. I could only imagine for kids, right? Adults, like, we could, some of us are working, some of us are not, but there's a little bit difference there. These other ones, they're kids, they're students, they're teenagers, like, they ain't got to say so in this, right? And depending on your parent, like, maybe you're able to see your family, relatives, maybe you're able to see some of your friends, but it's like iffy. It's just kind of toss up in the air, right? It just don't make no sense. So, man, my heart goes out to them. I'm praying for them. Hopefully things just go, like, hopefully they go back to normal eventually, I hope. But yeah, I could only understand what they're going through, and I'm glad that I lived in an era where I was able to have it. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you so much, more than you ever know. So, Crayon Rocket, our motto is be unique, be creative, be you. Why is this important? Because we were all created in the image of God. We were all perfectly and wonderfully made. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Share it, like it, subscribe. I would appreciate it. God bless.